Hi guys, welcome to episode 3 of my novel writing vlog series, also a writing vlog series, however you want to call it. And if you haven't already, please do check out episode 1 and also episode 2 of my vlog series, just giving you updates about what I've been doing regarding my writing. So if you didn't know already, I am currently writing a novel and I'm still at the very early stages, but just wanted to give you an update that I have started the first draft. So in the previous 2 episodes, I've been talking a lot about outlining it, including showing you how I'm outlining it, what methods I'm using, and also like what brainstorming I've done without giving too many spoilers. So please do check out those vlogs before checking this out. So yeah, that's the purpose of these kind of writing vlogs, to give you updates and also to share with you my thoughts about the whole writing journey, because this is my first big writing project. Quite a long time ago I did try to write a novel. It was a fantasy novel that I tried to write, but I stopped midway through. I got very unmotivated. This time around I'm trying to make sure that I don't lose that motivation and lose that productivity. In fact, this month is going to be a very productive month for me because it's Camp Nanowrimo. So this vlog is going to be both about how I started my first draft. So I've actually written 2 chapters, and like last month in June I wrote 2 chapters. I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but I was still figuring out the details of my novel, and I'm still figuring out details of my novel. Like, ideas keep, I have a perfectionist mindset. Like, once I outline, I have to think deeply about it, and then I'm like, oh, I don't really like that idea, I need to scrap it. So I then rewrite the outline. I'm still like figuring out, and like, because I wrote the first chapter, I'm now thinking like, is this even interesting, like what I wrote? But anyway, so firstly, I'm going to be talking about my first draft. Do check out the timestamps because I have a lot to talk about. Apologies for how long the previous episode was. The previous episode was 40 minutes long. I had no idea that I talked that much. I tried my best to cut it as much as I could without making it feel rushed. So apologies for how long the last episode was. I'll try my best to make each episode under 30 minutes, but no promises, because this is all about my process with my first big writing project. So without any further ado, the first draft. So I wanted to show you my beautiful A4 notebook. So there is this shop in the UK. I don't think there's one in the US, but I'm sure there's like a bunch of stationery companies that provide really beautiful notebooks anyway. So the works was like selling these beautiful notebooks, and I bought this one, and unfortunately, from at least what I could find, they no longer sell this notebook. They sell a bunch of other notebooks, but I really like the design of this notebook. It's definitely a huge motivator for me. I know that sounds weird, but I need something that looks visually pleasing for me to like use it. So you're probably wondering, why the hell are you not typing this up? Because a lot of people type up their chapters. I know this is just a first draft, so it's perfectly fine for me to handwrite it just for the first draft, and then after I finish the first draft I will type it up. Now, I have my reasons for why I decided to handwrite the first draft. So the first reason, the laptop is a huge distraction for me. It's a huge procrastination tool. Like, once I'm on the laptop, I feel very inclined to check out YouTube, listen to music, watch YouTube videos, and check out all of my social media accounts. And I'm just like, I need to make sure that I'm focused on my work if I get down to work. So hence why I decided to use this lovely, beautiful notebook. Now I'm just going to show you the pages. I'll also give you like footage of like me writing it in real time, not in real time, but like just showing you how it seems. So I was like having a tub of ice cream for the first chapter. So I was like trying to think of my writing routine. Because I'm still a novice writer, I wanted to make sure that I had an effective and efficient writing routine. Nothing particularly strict or anything, but making sure that I wake up really early and then just start writing on certain days, like on a Monday perhaps. There's nothing in particular that's fixed, but if I was to have a lesson that's cancelled, then I can use that time to write. And that's what I'm going to be doing today. So today is the 4th of July. Obviously you're going to be watching this a few weeks after I film this. But it's the 4th of July, so it's already Camp Nanowrimo, and today I'm going to be writing chapter 3. But before I talk about the whole Camp Nanowrimo thing, I'm just going to be talking about the whole process of writing the first chapter and also the second chapter. So as I said, I handwritten it. Firstly, for the first chapter, I wrote it in my room. I'll just post some footage here of me writing it and also having a tub of ice cream. So I just thought, like, if I'm gonna write something, I want to like have a good time. It was really hot as well, so I really needed that sweetness from something. I'm a sweet tooth person. I love my sweets and I love my desserts. So I had a tub of ice cream whilst I was writing the first chapter. My thoughts on the first chapter. So before I even wrote the first chapter, I was actually using an index card to just bullet point what I want the first chapter to include, so that I have a blueprint of what the order is of the scenes of the plot points, for example, and I really wanted to set the tone straight away that it's going to be a mystery style novel, because in the first chapter, well, without giving too much of a spoiler, a newspaper is dropped into the letterbox of my main character's house, and she reads it and her curiosity kicks in about that particular headline. So I kind of thought of this whole newspaper headline thing for the first chapter from reading a children's book, actually, because the children's book that I got inspired by also started off with a newspaper headline. So I thought, oh, that's a good way to like really give a clue about what the actual plot is about, without giving any spoilers about what that headline was, but it really piqued the protagonist's interest. But her stepmother is not happy. She's hiding secrets behind the protagonist's back. So just to clarify, I do actually have two protagonists. So I have a female protagonist and a male protagonist, and they are respectively the Cinderella and Prince Charming characters in my novel. It's not a romance novel, but it's a mystery / thriller novel with a romance subplot. And yeah, so I actually really enjoyed handwriting the first two chapters. I feel it was really productive. Like, I managed to actually be motivated enough to finish those chapters, especially considering that I'm quite a novice with this whole writing thing. So I'm quite proud of myself that I was able to go through with it and make it to the end. But after that, I was like, oh, there's definitely a huge revision to do regarding those two chapters. So the second time that I had my writing session, it was for the second chapter, and I went to the library because all 3 of my lessons last week got cancelled. All three lessons. So if you don't know, I'm a tutor, so I tutor a lot of kids in their English and maths, and my lessons got cancelled, all 3 of them in one day. So I was like, okay, not a problem, I can just use this time to write. So that's what I did in the library, my local library, which is a lovely place, and I wrote the second chapter. For this time, for that time, I didn't bullet point notes, but that's because I didn't have the index cards. But then again, I just wanted to get down to writing it. And that was a slightly longer session. I wrote like 6 pages. For the first chapter, it was 5 pages that I wrote. So I'm just going to show you. This is 1 page. 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's chapter 1. Chapter 1 is 5 pages long, which is probably going to be around the kind of word count goal I had in mind, around 1,500 to 2,000 words. There's chapter 2, 4, 6. So chapter 2 is 6 pages long. That's probably around 2,000 words. But then again, I have to add in more character descriptions because that's something that I skipped. I did add a bit of description, but I do need to add more world building and character descriptions and I guess dialogue in general. So there were a few little bits and bobs that I missed out, and also there are a few things that I just want to cut out now, but I'm going to be moving on. I don't want to edit as I write my first draft because I've heard advice that you just need to make it as shit as possible, the first draft, because you can always edit later. So that's what I've heard online so many times, and I'm a perfectionist, as you guys know, so Lord help me. Right, okay, so yeah, the second time I didn't have any sweet treats. That's my only downside. I did not bring any sweet treats, but I managed to write 6 pages. That's a lot of writing. And actually I didn't feel any hand pain. Like, I was quite a little bit concerned that I'd feel a bit of hand pain, but I didn't. I guess because it was just 6 pages. But if you were to write like 2 chapters though, which are over 10 pages, and obviously your hand is eventually going to hurt, so just take it bit by bit. If you do decide to handwrite your first draft, I always advise that. Okay, so regarding my reasons for handwriting, so as I said, I get very easily unmotivated and I procrastinate a lot when I'm on the laptop, so I really don't want to go on YouTube, listen to music, watch videos, go on social media, so many things that are very distracting when I open a laptop. So Lord help me when I start editing the damn thing, because I'm gonna have to type all of this up. I was actually thinking about dictating the book, so you know how, because I mean I could type some of it and also dictate, because there's another way of like typing the actual novel. You can instead use your voice to type in the words. If you guys know what book dictation is, but if you don't know what dictation means, it's basically using your voice to just read out the words, and then the words actually show up on the document. Microsoft Word has that feature. I was blown away. I had no idea Microsoft Word had a dictation feature. I don't know how that's going to go, because I have to really think hard about what I want to write before it's on the actual paper. Maybe, I don't know, I might do an experiment, see what works for me. But for the most part, I'll probably just type it up. I was actually thinking about getting like a purple keyboard instead of using my keyboard for visual purposes. Anyway, so another reason is that apparently handwriting boosts brain activity and also creativity. And I really did feel like the flow of my writing was just ongoing. Like, I really knew what to write, even though the prose was not excellent. Oh, the prose was trash. I'm telling you, but like at least I got the words down and tried my best. That's all you can ask for, really, for a first draft. It's supposed to be trash, guys. Right. So yeah, I have quite a bit of revision to do, but at least it's down. At least the words are down and I can move on to the next chapter. So today I'll be writing chapter 3 in the library, because one of my lessons got cancelled, but I do have a rescheduled lesson. So after my lesson finishes, I'm going to go to the library and write, and then I'll give you feedback at the very end of this vlog about how that session went. So now I'm going to be talking about Camp Nanowrimo and my personal writing goal. So if you don't know what Nanowrimo is, firstly, it is a non-profit organization that I'm just going to read from their website, that provides tools, structure, community, and encouragement to help people find their voices, achieve creative goals, and build new worlds on and off the page. But basically, they allow writers to set a writing challenge. They have this writing challenge of writing 50,000 words, at least 50,000 words in 1 month. I know, right? I'm just scared just like saying that. Like, I could never write 50,000 words in 1 month unless I was just writing just a babble of shit. So props to anyone who manages to at least write 50,000 words in 1 month. You guys are amazing if you're able to do that. Personally, I would never set a writing challenge like that for myself. So I was very pleased when Nanowrimo announced that they'll have Camp Nanowrimos. So Camp Nanowrimos are a lot easier in terms of writing goals because they allow you to set your own writing goals. Every April and every July, Camp Nanowrimo happens. And so I created my account on Nanowrimo to set my writing goal. So my writing goal is to write... Here's the thing, so it could be 5 or 6 chapters this month. I'm not entirely sure. I'm hoping I can write 6 extra chapters this month. So I actually base my writing goal on chapters rather than word count, because I would need to finish a chapter to be satisfied that I've done enough, rather than stopping midway through a story, the plot. So I'd want to base it on chapter goals personally. So at the moment I've only written 2 chapters, but today I'll write the 3rd chapter, and that will be part of the July segment, because last time it was June. So I'm just going to show you now what I printed out. So I printed out Sarah Cannon's Camp Nanowrimo workbook, and this workbook actually kind of meshed her. She's basically like designed not only this, but also she's designed like a progress tracker, which is a separate document. So I put those 2 together to make this. So this is just a cover page, a beautiful cover page, and then comes in the reward planner. She also has a lovely quote at the back that says, The true alchemists do not change lead into gold, they change the world into words. William H. Gass. So it's really nice that she included a quote here. And then comes the rewards planner, milestones, and so basically, if you reach a milestone, you can reward yourself. So you know how I was talking about the tub of ice cream? So you could reward yourself in any sort of way. Either have coffee, so any sort of reward to reward yourself for hitting a particular milestone, a word count goal basically, or a chapter goal in my case. I have not filled this in because I don't know. I just reward myself with sweets. That's me. Now here comes the main document. So this is a July monthly calendar, and what I did, I'll just post footage of the actual picture. So she recommends just marking off the days that you definitely can't write, and I not only wrote down what days I'm going to plan / write the chapters, but I also wrote down the days I'm going to react to an anime or react to a movie. Basically put my whole entire schedule in these documents here. So that's 1 page, and that's the other page here. So there's a lot of crosses, which is to tell me that I'm working on those days, and I've color coded it as well. So blue are my working days, but afterwards I can either plan or write something down or edit. So I'm just trying to be as productive as possible during this month. I don't know if I'll be able to write an extra 6 chapters, but I'm hoping for the best. So if I do manage to write an extra 6 chapters this month, then that will get me to 8 chapters done. 8 chapters out of probably 54 or 52. That's a lot of chapters, I know, but my chapters tend to be on the shorter side rather than the longer side. So I'm hoping for like an 85,000 word count goal for the whole entire novel. At least 85,000, because that's kind of what's expected for my particular kind of novel, YA novel. So that's what I've been doing. And as I said, so if any sort of cancellations, I have a few Monday cancellations. I'll be writing the actual chapters on those days, and also any lesson cancellations that I have, and also on Sundays I can plan. So that's how I'm doing it. So if you see here, I don't know if you can see it, but I haven't written down any more chapter numbers because I'm just not sure if something is going to come up in those days where I'm like, I'm just not motivated to write a chapter today, or something gets in the way. I don't know, but I'm hoping for the best. So that's that. And also, okay, not sure why I printed out this, but this is just like a word count goal, daily word count goal. I'm not writing daily, so I should have printed that out, but this one is useful. This is like a progress tracker, my target, if you can see, and my progress. So what is your target word count goal, for example, and have you met that target? That's what this one is about. So it's just really useful to keep track of everything, and I really love this. So this one is like a game board where you just based on the, I really highly recommend Sarah Cannon's YouTube channel if you are interested in this particular workbook and also just planning based things, because she's an amazing, huge planner. She plans everything out, her daily life, etc. So if you're really interested in productivity and planning, head over to the channel. This is like a game board to track the word counts that you've done for each day. So to label in your word count goal, not word count goal, but like what word count you managed to get to on those days. Okay, and then this one is based on a different document that I found on her newsletter site, and this one is a writing tracker, and this is really useful because it actually has the word, I don't know if you can see it, phase. It has the word phase in it. So phase is all about the different phases in the writing progress, because you don't just immediately get to writing unless you're a pantser, unless you just wing it. But I'm not a winger. I need to first plan, outline, brainstorm, which is all 3 in 1 really, and then I write the first draft, but then you write the second draft, and then you write the third draft, maybe 4th draft, I don't know. That depends on if I need to do heavy revisions each time. And then you start promoting. I mean, I'm promoting just from the beginning, but promoting heavily as you get closer and closer to the finished product, and then you publish. So there's a lot of phases when writing, so best to keep a track of it all in this lovely document. And the next pages are the same thing, and this is a time totals writing tracker to track like how long you want to spend on each phase. So like, how long do you want to spend on the outlining, how long do you want to spend on the first draft, how long do you want to spend on the second draft, how long do you want to spend on the beta reader feedback, alpha reader feedback, etc. So I just want to keep a track of everything. So my plan is to finish the first draft by the end of this year. Thing is, I don't know if I can reach that goal. There's so much to do. So maybe by February, March, I'll be done with the first draft. I don't want to say a number that's too soon, because I'm a slow coach, but I'm hoping that by February, by February, I should be on Act 3 at the very least. Yeah, so it's going to be a long project. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be quick, especially for a debut novel. Like, you really gotta take your time with this. Yeah, so that's what I wanted to give you guys an update on. So yeah, today I'm just gonna go to the library in the evening and write down chapter 3. Wish me all the best, and I'll give you guys an update now, and then I'll finish the vlog. Hi guys, I just wanted to make a quick update about writing chapter 3. So I've just finished chapter 3 a few days ago, and oh my goodness, it was the hardest chapter to write. It was also the longest chapter that I've written so far. It's literally 8 pages long. So just little proof that I did finish chapter 3. And there's another side, and then it just keeps going on and on and on. Yeah, so that's eight sides basically. Not 8 pages, 8 sides. So that was the hardest chapter. It was so dialogue heavy, so it's gonna be, when I get to the revision stage, which is after I finish the whole entire first draft, I'm gonna have to do a major revision on this particular chapter, as well as a few, I mean, in general I'm gonna make revisions, but this one I just felt was the most difficult to write plot wise, because the thing is, you have to weave in the character conflict, the character arcs within the plot, and that can sometimes be difficult, because at the moment what I wrote, I had to kind of weave in a little bit of the character's trauma, because he actually has PTSD. So my main male character, he actually has PTSD, and I'm trying to not info dump. So when I was writing, I was like, oh my gosh, how do I weave the PTSD in and still make it relevant to the plot? I feel like I've done it okay for that part, but I just felt in general that the whole conversation between him and some other character, it was just going on and on and on, and I was like, this is way too dialogue heavy. I skimped on the actual descriptions and actions, but obviously this is supposed to be just a first draft, so at least I know that I have that work to do. Yeah, so that's chapter 3, and I've just more recently, yesterday, just planned chapter 4. So today's date is the 8th of July, just before Eid. So yeah, sorry, I was supposed to say that right at the beginning of this update, but yes, so today's the 8th, and I plan to write chapter 4 tomorrow morning, before the guests come for Eid. You know how Eid is. Yeah, it's like first thing in the morning, so that's kind of what I'm doing in terms of my writing routine. Either writing first thing in the morning, obviously after breakfast, not before breakfast. I need my food. I need my food before I do anything. But yes, that's for that, and I'll see on Monday what am I gonna do. I think I'm gonna plan out chapter 5 as well, probably on Sunday, and then maybe on Monday I'll write down chapter 5, although don't hold me to it, because it could be that chapter 4 lingers on as well, because it actually took two sessions to write down chapter 3, and I wrote chapter 3 in the library. So if I haven't already, I'll post some little bit of footage, and then chapter 4 might take longer than expected. It might, and if it does, then it will take 2 sessions rather than 1. Oh man, the chapter 3 was so hard, not just because of the whole dialogue heavy thing, but it just kept going on, and I was just getting stuck in the middle as well. Like, how do I continue on with this, because it kind of deviated from my plan of chapter 3, where I was making bullet points before I actually delved into writing it. So sometimes I'm finding that when I'm writing it, I kind of deviate a little bit, just a little bit, not completely. I would never deviate completely from the actual plan, but it kind of does hold true to the idea that when you're writing, you kind of boost your creativity. Apart from that one moment where I was like, well, what the hell do I do? How do I continue on with chapter 3? How do I finish it? But I managed to finish it, so I'm just glad about that, even though I know that there's huge improvements that I need to make. But anyway, we move on, and now I'm going to be focusing on what I'm going to do for chapter 4. So yeah, I'm going to go to work now, and then I'll have a think tonight about chapter 4. And yeah, we continue the journey for Camp Nanowrimo. So I just hope I at least write 6 chapters, if not more than that. But writing an extra 6 chapters would be a huge achievement for me. So how I'm doing it is I'm actually basing it on chapter goals rather than word count goals. Yeah, that's my update for now. But by the time that I upload this, I probably would have already written chapter 4 at least, so that's just something to bear in mind. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for watching this. So episode 4 is probably going to be to give you an update on my Camp Nanowrimo journey. It's my first time doing Camp Nanowrimo, forgot to mention. So I'll give you guys a complete update in episode 4, and also probably we'll talk about the characters. Let's see. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for more.